Hey everyone, and welcome to the first steps session in Weave. Today we are going to learn together what a node-based system is and how to use it, how to create images, how to get control over your AI creation, how to create videos, how to design compositions, and then how to use advanced tools to create automation and scale. And we are going to do all of that inside of Weave. Along the way, I will give you as many tips as I can on creating with AI, how to write good prompts, what are the new opportunities, and more. And the most important thing is that you don't need to know the system at all before this session. I'm going to take you from the very first step all the way to a complete workflow. It's not a lecture where I talk for an hour. It's a workshop. So allow yourself to pause the video, go back whenever you need to, and walk through it all with me. Another important thing is that I want you to enjoy this session. There are no right or wrong answers here. Just pick something you like, generate it, play with it. It can be anything you want. Our goal for today is simple, that you walk away with all the basic tools and even a little more so you can start creating inside Weave. So, 1 second before we start, I'm Ron, I'm a creative workflow advocate here at Figma Weave, and that's it. Let's begin. So here we are at Weave's homepage. Let's go straight in. And this is our dashboard. I'm going to walk you through it. So on the left side, we have our Files menu, where you can see your files, files that someone shared with you, workspace files, tools that someone in your workspace published with you, and the things you've deleted. And on the top of the home page, you can see that you have a workflow library and tutorials. This section is highly important because this is how you can learn after this session. So let's say, for example, you want to learn more about the Compositor node, you can just press on it and a workflow is going to open up. You can duplicate this workflow to your files, and after duplicating it, you can play with it and change anything inside of it. So for example, you can go and you can see how we created this specific visual. And you can see that we worked with 3D, with remove background, okay, how we connected it into different masking tools, how we added text, and that's a really great way to learn. So remember that on the top you have tutorials and workflow library. The tutorials are actually our YouTube channel with different videos, from the most basic ones till very advanced videos like system prompting, how to use context, and how to use advanced tools. So that's it. Now, if I want to create a new file, the way to do that is by pressing here on the top, create a new file. I can also right click here and create a new file or a new folder. So let's start by creating a new file. Now, we have an empty canvas, okay? This is the empty canvas of Weave. Let's walk through that as well pretty quickly. So on the top left, we have our sharing setting, which is very intuitive. You will figure it out by your own. We have the credits we have in our workspace. We have the tasks manager. On the left side, we have the file name. So let's call it first steps session Weave. Here we have our menu where you can play with preferences, keyboard shortcuts, and do all of those stuff that are very intuitive. And we have our left rail with the different categories for models and for tools. And we are going to learn all about it while we are going to create. Now let's go to our empty canvas and let's create our first node. So let's right click. This is one way to bring new nodes into the canvas, and let's select a prompt. And now we created the most basic building block in Weave, which is a node, okay? Inside this node, we can write a prompt, and I'm going to write a young man walking on a tight rope between tall buildings. And you can see here on the right side, we have this connector. And this connector is actually an output. We want to output this text into an image model. So let's bring an image model. One way to bring nodes inside the canvas, so we can right click like you saw before, but we can also go to the left rail and we can select image models. So you can see here that we have the search, we have quick access, we have saved nodes, which I'm going to show you later on. We have toolbox that we are going to play a lot with, and image models, video models, 3D models, audio models, and community models. In the image models, now we can select, let's say, GPT images, and we can just drag it here, okay? and we can also select, let's say, Recraft, okay? And also we can search, and I will bring Nano Banana to light, okay? So this is another way to bring nodes. You can search for a specific one and you will see it here. Now we want to take this prompt and we want to connect it into our image models. So the way to do that, let's do it with one first, is to connect this one, drag it into the connector like that. And now we are going to run it. And that's the most basic workflow that we can create. A node connected into a different node. So this is an output and this is an input, and now this text is inputted into this image model. And what's really great about Weave is the fact that we have all of the models that has an open API inside our canvas. So if I will press Shift, I can connect that same prompt into two different models and I can run those as well. When you're working with AI, it's really good to see how different models perform in the same context. So in that specific case, we have this prompt, and now we are going to see how Nano Banana, okay, so this is Nano Banana Lite, this is the result we got. This is ChatGPT 2, which is a model that I really like, okay? And soon we are going to have Recraft 4, and we can select as many image models as we want, right? We can go to the image models, and we can bring also Imagine Free Fast, and we can bring Xfield, and we can bring Flux, okay? And if I will Command Z, all of those are going to disappear. But now I want us to look at the results we got, okay? So this is Nano Banana Lite, okay? This is Recraft 4. And this is ChatGPT 2, and this is really broken. I don't like any of those results. And the reason is actually the prompt that we did is really generic. A young man walking on a tight rope between tall buildings. That's not a really great prompt, right? So let's try and write together something that is better. And I believe that the prompt should be as detailed as possible with the vision that you have in mind. So let's try and do that. I made those prompts in advance. I'm going to copy and paste it, but I'm going to share all of these prompts later with you, and we are going to read those together. So let's see our prompt while we ran it here. So a cinematic 35mm film photo of a skinny young man, tightrope performer, walking barefoot on a rope. Caught mid-step with one foot forward, arms raised and spread wide for balance. Torso slightly tilted in a graceful posture. This is very specific. Like, this is exactly what I wanted. Now, after we spoke about the style and character, we can speak about the camera. The camera positioned at rope height, shot from a mostly front-end angle with only a slight 10 degrees side angle. As he moves from the left side of the frame towards the right, the frame is mostly cloudy, slightly misty sky, with only a small hint of dark roof tiles behind him. No large visible rooftops, muted tone, natural film grain, grounded realism. Now let's take a look at that. So just on our first try, so the camera angle is not that great, but I do like this frame. I really like the posture of the person, and I really like also the composition. Let's see, Recraft. I don't like that at all. I don't know why it's raining, and I don't know why he's not wearing pants. And let's see GPT. This is wonderful, okay? I really, really like this one. And now you can see that when we are working with different models, we can select which one is the best for this specific creation. And I'm going to go with that. Till now, we understood that all models help us as creatives to select the best model for the job. And we also saw how different prompts, like a generic prompt, gives us a generic output, but when we are going into the details, we are getting a much better result. And now when I'm looking at this composition, I really like the tightrope, I really like his posture, I also like the roof and the cloudy atmosphere, but I don't like what this guy wears. And I want to change the clothes. So we are going to move into an image-to-image sequence. Let's do that together. So if in that case we took a prompt and we output it into a text-to-image model, now we are going to do a sequence of image-to-image. So I'm going to search for two of my favorite models that I'm working with regularly, which is ChatGPT 2 Edit and Nano Banana Pro. So I'm going to work with both of them to see which one will give me a better result. So I'm going to press Shift again and connect the same image here to these two different models. And I'm going to write a prompt. So let's create a prompt. And another way to bring nodes into the canvas is that you can select a connector like that, and then you can release the cursor in the canvas and you can select a prompt, and now this prompt is already connected. Okay, so all we have to do is to connect this prompt also here. So our prompt is going to be change the outfit to, and I'm going to bring my prompt, okay, and I'm going to paste it. So I'm going to run it, and while it runs, we are going to take a look at the prompt. But before we are going to run it, I want to show you another thing inside of Weave. Every time you are selecting a specific node, on the right side, you are going to have the specific parameters for this specific node. So here, this is a ChatGPT images 2 edit, okay? So the parameters are GPT image 2 or a different model. We are going to use the newest one. We can select the quality. So let's do it on I. And we can select the resolution. I want it to be 16 by 9 in 4K, so it's going to be this one. And then I'm going to run it. And here, in Nano Banana, I have different parameters. I have, let's create it in 4K, let's select 16 by 9, and let's run it. And we can even look that in Recraft, we have different ones. So every different node inside of Weave has different parameters, and those parameters are the parameters that the model provider has in the API. So we want to give you as users as much control as possible over your creation. Now let's see the prompt. Change the outfit to a soft pale yellow ringer t-shirt with green collar and sleeve trim, green first steps text on the chest, loose brown high-waisted trousers, retro two-tone shoes, and a green gym bag held in one hand. So we are going to make it a bit cooler, right? I want to speak with you about the technique when you're working with image to image. There are two great techniques. One is just explaining the change you want to make. So we just say, change the outfit to. And if it's not going to work, sometimes what you need to do is to say, keep everything exactly the same, but change only the. And then you can say, change only the outfit to this and that. Now let's see and wait for the results. Okay, so let's see. This is Nano Banana. So we have this guy, we have the bag, we have the first steps. And let's see what we can do now. We can actually use a compare node. So you can right click on the canvas and you can select compare like that. And what the compare node allows you to do, you can basically input the original image to input 1. And the new image to input 2. And now it's in different resolution, but we can still work with that. Okay, so this is the original one and this is the new one. Okay, so the resolution, it's not the same, but we can still look at the face. So the face has a slight change, but for us, for now, it's pretty good. We are going to keep the compare node because we are going to compare GPT-2 also to Nano Banana Pro. Okay, so let's see the ChatGPT-2 one. So here we got first steps. Here we got first steps. Let's connect both into the compare node. And let's see what's better. So this is Nano Banana. And this is GPT-2. So I think Nano Banana did a better job overall, especially with maintaining the character. GPT-2 had a hard time maintaining the face. So I'm going to work with Nano Banana Pro for this specific session. You can also change the compare node to toggle, and then you can just press it like that. So I like that one better. Now I'm looking at that image. I like it, but something is missing. I want to make it a bit weirder. And I think that what could be cool is that if I will add on the rope here behind him, a dog that wears exactly the same clothes and walks behind him. So I'm going to create another image-to-image sequence. Let's do that. A cool thing that I can do is I can actually copy these two nodes and I can paste both of them here. And now I can select output number 2, which is the Nano Banana Pro one, and connect those two here. And basically it's going to be this image to a new image sequence. Okay, so although I have those images inside the node, I'm going to run it again. And I'm going to use a different prompt. I'm going to paste it. So here is our prompt. Keep everything the same, only add a small, properly scaled, long-bodied dog walking on the rope behind. Let's write behind the man. It will be better. Behind the young man. Also caught mid-step. The dog is dressed the same as the man. Now let's press Shift and connect these two, and let's run it. I'm going to recap while it runs. Till now, we started with a simple prompt that gave us generic results like that. Then we changed the prompt to a detailed prompt with the specific things we need, and we used all of the different models inside of Weave to do that, some of those. Then we took the image we liked the most, we connected that image into two editing image models, which I like the GPT-2 and Nano Banana Pro, and we gave those the same image and the same prompt, which basically say, keep everything the same, but change the outfit. Once we got those two results, we used the compare node, we used the toggle function, and we selected that we are going to work with output number 2, which is the Nano Banana one, and connected those two here. And we decided to add a dog that is dressed the same. So now we got the dog. I don't think it did a really good job. The size is okay, but the clothes is also nice, right? But it's not in the middle of the step, and also I feel that it's not working properly on the rope. So usually when something is not working but it's very close, the first thing I'm doing is rerunning it. And then if it's not working again, I'm thinking about changing the prompt. So let's take a look here. You can select here the number of runs. So on the right side, I told you that you have the parameters, right? You can see how many credits this node or this run is going to cost you. And you can select how many times you want to run it. So let's run it 2 more times. So I selected 2, it's 46 credits. If I will do 1K, it will cost 11, 4K costs more. And GPT is really good model, but it is taking it a bit more time, as you can see, than other models. Okay, let's see that. So also here, we have a problem. The rope got cut. The dog is not walking properly. It's hard for the model to nail it. Here it's actually worse than the Nano Banana one, right? So what I'm going to do, I'm going to rerun that as well. Okay, let's rerun it 2 times. And now I'm going to think about my prompt, keep everything the same, only add a small, properly scaled, walking on the rope behind the young man. And let's say walking on the rope precisely behind the young man. The dog is on the rope, mid-step in the right third of the image. The dog is dressed with the same shirt as the man. Yes, let's try and run it. Okay, so here we got a really nice result. You can also expand it and see it in gallery. You can see all the other images as well. Also, on every image in the gallery, you have this icon here of eye, and you can see exactly which model, what is the resolution, what was the prompt. And sometimes when you're generating a lot, and it could happen to you, you want to go back to a prompt that worked better, so you can just copy that, go back here, and then you can paste the prompt, and you will get the specific prompt for that specific image. So Nano Banana completed a few runs that I tried to do, and I can also look at it in batch, and then I can see which one is the best. So this is a cool way for me to explore the files. And here I can see that I really like number 5 for this. This is the best result for now. And with GPT, it has a problem to maintain the rope. Okay, so we can see that. Let's see number 5. Actually, this one is pretty cool. I'm going to go with this one. This one is the best in my opinion. I really like the dog. I really like the fact that he's on the rope, is in the middle of the step with these 2 legs. I'm going to walk with this one. So we changed the prompt and we ran it again, and now we have a result that we like. I really like the first steps with the shirt. I really like the fact that he's in the middle of the step, and I want to walk with that image. but I want also to gain more control over the color and over the composition. So here on the left rail, we have the toolbox, and we have really nice tools that will allow us to get more control. Let's do that. I'm going to start by taking the color correction node. I'm going to drag it here. I'm going to connect my image here. And now I can start manipulating the image. So I'm going to make it a bit more exposed. I'm going to make it with a higher contrast. And now when I'm pressing here on the left side, I have a toggle that can show me this is the original and this is the new one. I really like this one better. I'm going to make it a bit more saturated, carefully. Let's see that. Okay. And I'm going to lower the temperature like that. I like this one better, yeah. Maybe less exposed a little bit, yeah. And I'm going to make the highlights higher and the shadows lower. Let's see that for a second. Okay, so I really like this result. I want to make it even more colder like that. I want to make it less blue, so I'm going to my left rail and I'm going to use the levels node. And here in the levels node, I can connect that image. So think about it. We started with that, we moved to that, and now I'm going to select the blue channel and I'm going to take it down a little bit like that. Not too much, like that. Let's see. Yes, it's a slight change, but I like it, especially on the skin tone. So this is great. We have this image. We started with a prompt. We changed the clothes. We added a dog. We've played with the prompt. We iterated a little bit. This is something really important when you're creating with AI, the patience of getting things the way you want it to be. Now we did a color correction, and we now want to take this asset, and actually I want to create two compositions out of it. One, I want to create a vertical composition that I could work with for social. I want to promote my short film, and I want to create another horizontal composition. And I'm going to do it with these two subjects. So I'm going to take the crop node, and in the crop node I can connect my image like that. And here I can select, let's say, 9:16. And now I have the man like that. I can select the composition, maybe like that. This one is nice. Okay, I like this one. So now I have this composition, and I want to create another composition. So I can duplicate the crop, and I can take the same input and crop it in a different way. So here I will have a vertical version, but here I can select, let's say, 21:9. Yes, and let's make it smaller like that. It will be like a poster. Okay, we'll have my dog. The legs, I really like this composition actually with the bag. I really like this. So now I can work with these two compositions separately. And actually I want to start with this film poster, okay? And because I cropped the image, the resolution is going to be very low. So inside of Weave, I can actually use an upscaling model. So I can write upscale, and I can use, for example, Topaz image upscale. And now I can connect my image here, and I can upscale that image. So I'm going to select run, and now this is going to be an upscaled image instead of being like a cropped small one. This is one thing you should know. And once it's going to be ready, I'm going to use a tool that the name of it is Compositor. Okay, let's start actually with the top one like that. And in the Compositor, I'm going to connect this layer, and I want you to see something cool. Okay, so we got an upscaled image. We are going to touch on that soon. And we got this image. And what's cool about the Compositor and every layer here is that it actually live, right? So if I'm using the crop, like this frame is also nice, right? Super strong. If I will make it a bit smaller. So this is a really nice frame in my opinion. But I can see the results on the next layer. And this is true for all of our workflow, right? Like if I would change, if I look at the Compositor, if I will change the exposure, it will be changed here. So this is how things live inside of Weave. Now we upscale the image. Okay, and we have this asset as well. And we are going to create our visuals, our design. So I'm going actually to start with this one. So let's bring another compositor. Okay, let's connect our image to the background. And now we have our compositor and we can press edit. And inside the compositor, we can move things around. We can also add as many layers as we want. But now I'm going to create a new text. I'm going to do something like that. And I'm going to write the name of my film, which is, let's do all caps, Steady Boy. This is the name of the film. And now I'm going to edit this layer like that. Now I'm going to use my brand color, press enter, this is my brand color. I'm going to select a different font like that. I'm going to make it black, I want it to be bold. I'm going to make it larger like that. And I want to make the lines, the line heights, let's make it 70. And I want, let's make it for 500, it's better, yeah. Still in the middle. So now let's add another title. We will call it Weave Production. So you can play with the text. I encourage you to do so. Okay, and let's put our brand color. I don't want it to be all caps, so let's write it again. A bit bolder, like maybe semi-bold, yeah. A Weave Production, Steady Boy. I don't like the fact that it covers his face, so I will make it smaller. Let's do 400. And actually what I can do, I can make it larger and take it to the side as well. I can change a little bit the composition here because I really want to see the dog. Yes, this one is much better. I even like the fact that we only see the rope. Okay, so this in the middle, this is here. This feels pretty good. And now I want to add text also outside of the compositor. So I can close it. Okay, this is our frame, a Weave Production, Steady Boy. And I want to add text outside of the compositor. So one way to do that is actually writing a prompt, connecting it as a layer, and now you can see the text inside. But I want to show you another thing is that you can basically take any text outside of Weave, and we have this disclaimer that you can read later. And I can just paste the text here, and it will be shown as a prompt. And now I can connect that. And this is a new layer here that I can definitely change. I will make it smaller. I will change the color. Okay, so now we composite it. We go out, and this is our frame. Steady Boy, a Weave Production. We have the disclaimer, we have our dog. Everything is super, super cool. And we actually want to apply all of that to this one. So what we can do is we can copy this compositor, paste it, connect this one again as layer, and connect this one here, like that. We can delete this one, go here to the compositor, and now we need to change the height and size of the canvas. So we are going to do it vertical, and we are going to take our image, put it inside. So what I did here is that I took the assets from the former compositor and just changed the sizes to make it look better. And now I actually have these two cool assets. One, a vertical promotion of the film Steady Boy, and the other one, a horizontal one with this dog and these shoes. This is pretty cool. Think about it. We said in the beginning that we are going to learn how to gain control over our AI creation, and that's exactly what we did. So we started with all models, and if you are pressing Command G, you can create a group and you can rename it. So this is all models, right? Then we moved to image sequence, Command G, and we can say image to image. And after we were satisfied with the elements in the image, we gained control over our creation. So that's basically what we did so far. So now I want to create a video together with you, and we are going to do an image to video sequence. We are going to use this image as our first frame, and we are going to generate a video out of it. In order for us to do that, we need to bring image to video models inside the canvas. And one cool way that you can search inside of Weave is if you're going to the search, you can select from input, which is an image, to output, which is a video. And now you can basically take a look at all of the relevant models or nodes that are relevant for that sequence, image to video. So let's take Seedance 2, and let's also take, let's see, Grok. Okay, so both of them are image to video. And if we will take a look at those models, we can see that they have an image input as well as a prompt. Now what we are going to do, we are going to connect that image into both models. And in order to do that, we are going to use that image a lot. I'm going to use a new tool that the name of it is a router. And what a router allows us to do is to take a single output and input it into various nodes. So I can put it here and I can put it here. And both of those inputs are this specific image. So we took that image into these two nodes. And now I'm going to take our prompt and I'm going to connect the prompt to both nodes, this one and this one. And I'm going to check the parameters. Let's make it 1080. Let's do 6 seconds. Generate audio. Let's run it. And let's take Grok. Let's make sure it's 16:9. And let's run it as well. And you can see that we are using two different nodes. Okay? We are running it together. And Seedance 2 is more expensive than Grok. If you don't want to use a lot of credits, Grok can do simple tasks really good in my opinion. So let's take a look at the prompt. Use the reference image as the first frame. So this is our first frame. We connected that image through a router into both models. Static camera, no camera movement. The man walks carefully, balancing with his arms spread along the tightrope towards the left side of the frame until he exits the shots. The dog follows calmly and naturally behind on the rope, walking in the same direction until it also exits the frame. Natural movement. Let's see. We got the results from Grok. Let's see. So we do have a camera movement, but this part is pretty good. Okay? And actually the dog is doing a pretty decent job maintaining the rope. But I also know that I want to create a video not only with one single angle. So I'm going to use the same image here, and I'm going to work again with Nano Banana Pro. So it's another image-to-image sequence. I'm going to connect that image here, and I'm going to prompt it like that. I'm going to create a new prompt, connect it, and I'm going to say, change the camera angle to a frontal close up of the man. That's basically it, and let's run it. So what I'm going to do after that, I'm going to create another video out of this image, and then I will have two videos from two separate angles. Let's see the image. So it didn't do a good job at all, right? It made everything so weird. So we are going to change that. So I'm writing a prompt, keep everything exactly the same, but change only the camera angle to a close up of the man only. So I'm going to run that again. Now I want to create an audio. So I'm going on the left rail and I have these audio models. I want to create music. I'm going to use Minimax, and I want to create also a sound effect. So I'm going to work with this one, sound effect generator. So I'm going to prompt the music model. I'm going to connect this node here, and I'm going to run it. So instrumental background music with only acoustic drums and upright bass, weird, cool, offbeat groove. And I'm going to create also a sound effect. Ambient sound of subtle wind and traffic. Let's make it 12 seconds and let's run it. Now let's see Seedance. This is really good. I really like it. Okay. And let's see this angle. Okay, so we got an angle of the man. I want to create a video out of that as well. So I'm going to create another Seedance. I'm going to connect that as a first frame, and I'm going to prompt it. Okay, so I want to recap for a second all of the things that I did here, just for us to have a sense of what we tried to create here. So we created with the same prompt two videos, okay, like that. Now, after we are going to select one of those videos, I created with the same image another angle of the person like that. Let's take a look. Okay, so we got this angle, and I've prompted, this one was the prompt for the image, and now for the video, use the reference image as the first frame. The man walks slowly towards the camera on a thin tightrope that stays mostly out of frame. I also used our left rail for the audio, and I used a music model, Minimax Music 2, with that prompt. This is nice. Okay, I like it. And we can run it again if we want. And I also asked a sound effect generator to do an ambient sound of subtle wind in traffic. This is pretty cool. Now, once I have these 4 assets, okay, I can actually create a video out of it. And I want to create the video with our steady boy compositing. So I want to show you something cool right now. Basically, I can press Option, and then I'm duplicating this, okay, with the connections that it already had. So if I'm just doing Command C, Command V, it will be like that. But if I'm pressing Option, I'm getting all of the connections as well. And if I want to take it outside of the group, I just need to press Command, and now it will be outside of the group. And the reason I'm doing that is because I still want to have this title and those titles, but I only want to change my input. So if we go back to this compositor, okay, we created that. So it's a composition, right, of an image. But if I will change the input from an image, let's say, to our video, okay, I will need to reframe everything in a second, and then I can add another video like that, and I can also add the audio layers like that, these 2 layers. Now, all of those inputs are going to be in the compositor, and I can composite it. Another thing I didn't show you, I'm going to do Command Z, is the fact that you don't need to connect an input into a specific connection. You can connect it into the node like that, and then a new connector with the right type is going to appear. And this is true for all nodes. If you are connecting something that could be connected to that specific node, the connector is going to be added. Now let's press Edit on the compositor. We can already see that we have a timeline here, right? Inside of Weave, now we can see all of the different layers, and we can work with it. So let's start, first of all, by compositing our existing titles. So we need to put it here. This one, let's put it on top. Okay, let's put it on top like that. Let's make it smaller. I will do that quickly. Let's make it smaller like that. And also let's put it on top. Okay, so I can take the layers and put it on top, and now I can see it. This is nice. Our canvas, I have 2 videos. It's actually pretty nice. I'm going to work with that in a second. I'm going to take also this one, the text layer, this one. I'm going to put it also on top, steady boy. I'm going to make it smaller, okay? And let's take this one. This is steady boy. This one is the video. Let's put it here. And now what I can do, I can start an editing exactly like a timeline with an editor. So I have this footage. Let's mute everything else. Let's mute this, and that. This is pretty nice. And now I want to bring my second video. So what I can do, I can make my timeline longer. Let's do 12 seconds. And now I can take my video here. Yes, this will be very nice. And let's take also these 2 text layers on top. What I'm doing right now is editing. I want to add my music also. I can take the volume of the ambient to be very low. And let's take my music. And let's mute these 2 layers. Okay, let's mute this one as well. I feel that this is where the cut should be, so I can drag this one and bring this one here. Okay, so I can basically and let's drag it to be all the way for the video. Okay, so we got into the timeline, we changed the layers position to put the text on top of the videos, we edited the videos exactly the way we wanted it, we lowered the volume of the ambient sound of the wind, and we added the music. And now we got this very cool video, which is actually pretty cool. Steady Boy. I think it's a film we should definitely do. Like, somebody needs to create this film. Okay, and now when we are going out of the Compositor, it lives also here. This is pretty cool. Steady Boy, a Weave production. Perfect. Nice. So we created videos. So this is video creation and editing using our timeline. And here we created also audio creation. So let's take a look at what we created so far. We started with all models. We did an image-to-image sequence. We gained control over our AI creation with editing tools. We used this master image to create videos. And we used the audio models to create audio. And with the Compositor, we created this super cool Steady Boy teaser. Now, I saw this creation, okay? And I think it's pretty cool. I really like it, okay? We saw it together. But I want to try and ideate maybe about the man and maybe about the dog. Like, I want to see different variations. Like, we have a concept, but I'm not sure that this is the perfect casting or the perfect dog for this specific video. But I want to ideate. I don't know exactly what I want. So what we are going to do now, we are going to create a machine using advanced tools that is going to help us change specific things in our creation. So let's start by creating a workflow that will help us change only the dog. So in order to do that, we are going to use again an image-to-image sequence. So let's take Nano Banana Pro. We used it so far and it did a really good job. And let's take our image, which is, you remember I told you that we are going to use this router? So I'm going to use again this image, the same one. I'm going to take it from this router and connect it here. So it is an image-to-image, okay? And just for making it more convenient, I can even create another router and I can connect that like that here and connect it. And one small thing and a very important thing that I didn't tell you is the fact that if you want to disconnect an existing connection, you just need to press on the connector while you see this sign like that. And then it's disconnected and you can connect it again. And we are going to create a prompt. And our prompt is going to be keep everything the same, but only change the dog breed to. And now we can write, let's say, Great Dane. Okay? It will change that. But if I want to change every time only that specific thing, I can basically create a variable by doing @ and then writing Great Dane. And if I will press enter, now I will have a prompt connected to this prompt. And all of this part will be consistent, but this part I can change. So it could be also a French Bulldog. And now this is the only part that I'm changing. And I can run it, okay? And every time I want to change that specific thing, this is a really quick and easy way to work with. And it could be more powerful when I will show you what you can do with that in scale. Now let's say I want to create a machine that will help me ideate. I want to create a machine that every time I can tell it a specific thing I want to change in the image, and it will write for me new concepts to change that specific thing. I'm going to show you. So we are going to use variables, and we are going to use LLMs, and we are going to use iterators, which are the advanced tools in Weave. We are going to start by bringing an LLM, any LLM. And this node is one of my favorites inside of Weave, because basically it's a brain inside your canvas. And we call it any LLM because it's actually any LLM. It could be Gemini Pro free, it could be ChatGPT, it could be Claude, okay? You can prompt it in a very simple way and say, write a pizza recipe in 2 sentences, okay? Let's do pizza. It's with A, like that. Now when I will run it, This LLM is going to write a pizza recipe. And if I will ask it to plan my trip to Italy, it will plan a trip to Italy. It works exactly like any other LLM outside of Weave. Stretch a ball of pizza dough, okay. We can't do anything valuable with this kind of prompting inside of Weave. But what we can do is that we can give this LLM creative tasks. Okay, and we are going to do that together right now. In the meantime, we said French Bulldog, we have the variable, and we got a French Bulldog. So this is pretty cool, because if we will write Great Dane and we will run it, it's going to work. And now we have a Great Dane walking on the rope. Let's go back to our LLM. There's another feature I want to show you, and the name of it is Saved Nodes. And actually, in these saved nodes, I can see all of the saved nodes in my workspace, or I can see only the nodes I save. And this is a pretty cool way to work, because I saved my prompt in advance. So if I will take this creative director, you will see that this is a prompt that I already saved, and now I can connect it to the LLM. Okay? If before the prompt was write a pizza into sentences, now we have something else. The prompt says, you are a creative director, this LLM. You receive an input image and a text instruction specifying what should be changed. Analyze the image and the instruction carefully, then generate exactly 5 distinct image-to-image prompts. Okay, this is the basic. Let's connect it, and then we will go back and see what's inside. So we said that we are going to give it an input image, so I'm going to use the same image as before. Okay, we connected that to the LLM. And we also said that we are going to give it a text instruction. So let's do that. Let's take this and copy and paste it like that. And let's change this prompt. Keep everything the same, but only change. And then let's do like that. And now we can say only change the weather, for example. Okay, weather. This is something we want to change. Okay, let's connect that here, and let's connect the system prompt here. Now I want to go through again with what I've built here. So we took an LLM, we connected our saved node of a creative director to the system prompt, and we specified that this LLM is going to receive an input image. So we connected our master input image like that through a router. And we specified that it's going to get a text instruction of what should be changed. And we asked to change the weather. So now this LLM, I'm going to run it. It knows how to analyze the image, and it knows how to think about 5 distinct image-to-image prompts that will change only the weather. Look, this is the prompt. Preserve every aspect of the original image, okay, including the composition, scene, camera angle, lighting, style, and overall look and feel. Change only the elements specified in the text instruction. Each prompt must propose a different creative replacement for the element while keeping everything else unchanged. Separate each prompt with a single asterisk. Do not use asterisks anywhere else. Output only the 5 prompts. So those instructions are valuable, and we will see why soon. Let's see what happened here. So take a look. A man in a yellow first step t-shirt and brown trousers walking on a tightrope with green duffel bag, followed by this dog in matching shirt. Bright clear blue sky, sunny, faint building silhouette below. And here dark stormy sky. And here pale gray sky. And here vibrant orange and pink sunset. Okay, so it thought about all of those prompts by itself. We just gave it the direction. And now we need to take this output of text. Okay, you see that it's separated with an asterisk. We need to take this one single item, one single box of text, and separate it into 5 different prompts. So we are going to use a tool that the name of it is a Text Iterator. And what a Text Iterator knows how to do is to take text, split it by, as you can see here, an asterisk. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, because this is what we asked for. If, for example, we are going to change it for the letter Y, look, we have 5 out of 50. If it's Y, we have 20 out of 50, because every time there's a Y, it splits the text. So this is the reason we said an asterisk, and this is also the reason we said don't use asterisks anywhere else, because we wanted to have only these 5 prompts out. And the second thing that the text iterator knows how to do, and that's what makes it so powerful, it knows how to take all of those items and run all of them simultaneously. So if we will add here Nano Banana Pro, we are going to connect the text iterator, and look, now we have here 5 values, text iterator. It identifies that the input is coming from a text iterator and it's going to run 5 times. But in order to get the results right, we need to connect also our master image here. So we are going to connect that. Actually, let's do something like that. Let's take all of this machine here to the side. Let's add another router. And let's connect this router here. And let's use the router again. Why? Because later it will be easier for me to change things. So this is the image. And now let's run it. Okay, and it's going to run 5 times. So basically we created a machine that knows how to take any specific things that the users ask for, put it in a prompt variable that says to this LLM, this is the only thing you need to change. We gave it a role that tells it to write distinguish and new concepts to this specific category, connected it into a text iterator, took these prompts together with the original image, and we are going to have this machine create 5 new weathers for our scene. Let's put it like that. Okay, let's see the results. So as you can see, we asked to change only the weather. So here we got the man with the dog. This is the gray sky. This was the orange sky. And look, it's maintained everything else, right? This is snow, pretty nice. Did a snowy weather. Okay, so we have snow, we have vibrant. This is pretty cool. This is rain, okay. This one looks a bit weird, but I really like this one actually. Like, oh, and this one is also very nice. So I have like a few results that I like here from these ideas, so I can iterate on that result. This one is really, really nice. Now, this is pretty cool, right? We created a machine that thought of new concepts for us according to our guidelines because we wanted to ideate. But we could also work with different iterators. We could work with an image iterator that will allow us, for example, to change only the clothing of that specific person. And we can also write a different system prompt that will give us new camera angles or whatever. But what's cool about this specific machine is that if we will go now and we will practically say change the man, okay? Change the man. This is what we want to change. This is the only thing we changed. Now we can select all of that, run it, and all of this workflow is going to run again. So we've built the machine once according to the things we need, and now we can iterate and scale. This is to me the power of working with AI when you're doing automation and scale, is to think how you can empower yourself, how you can build the machines and the workflows that will help you maintain your taste or maintain the things you want to create, but doing it with scale and utilizing new opportunities that you didn't have before. So I got 5 images with different weathers, and for me in that specific project, that's really nice. And that's pretty cool because we didn't write those prompts. Let's take a look now. An elderly woman with white hair, a teenage girl with braided hair, a large muscular bearded man, a bald middle-aged man with sunglasses, a 10-year-old boy. Okay, so it thought about those 5 outputs itself. And we can be more specific if we want. Like we could say in the system prompt, think about different worlds or think about abstract concepts or whatever. But this is pretty cool because now, let's take a look. We have a muscular man, we have a teenage girl, we have an elderly woman, and we have a bald man. So we have a boy. So we've built a machine that will work again and again and again. And the last thing I'm going to show you is the fact that once you're building this machine, you can actually create a node that the name of it is an output. It will allow you to create a tool out of it. Okay, so here, if I'm deleting that, there is no tool, but if I'm selecting output, now I can create a tool. And what's cool about that is that I can decide what are the inputs that this machine is going to have. So I'm not going to allow to change the system prompt, so I'm going to lock it. I want to be able to decide which image I want to change. So I'm going to bring an import model. I'm going to connect that into the router. And now, those are the two inputs I can change in my specific tool. And when I'm going to the tool, I will have an image to upload and a subject I want to change. So now I can upload any image that I want. Okay? And the thing I want to change is the man's clothes. This is the only thing I want to change in that image. So I'm going to run it. And now I've built a tool that I can upload any image that I want, and I can change only one thing and get 5 different results just to iterate on that. And I can also deploy it to different team members for them to use that as well. So as soon as I press deploy, any team member on my team could see it in his tools left side menu and work with that. So we got him as a prisoner, as a Walter White, as a knight, in his pajamas with his suit, and as a nice clown, I don't know how to call it, wrestler. So yeah, we've built a tool that changes anything we want. We can say change the nachos, change the view. That's pretty sweet. So that was the last part. Let's do building a tool. So that was it. Take a look at what we just created. It's pretty cool. We started with an empty node, and here we are with a full workflow. We created images, videos, composition, and even a little tool that helps us make variations for any idea that we want. And that's real, and we did it together. If there's one thing I want you to take with you, it's this. Weave isn't about landing the perfect prompt or creating something super fast just to get over with. It's about building, one step at a time, where every output becomes the start of the next thing. Once that clicks, you can make almost anything in here. Where do I want you to go from here? So first, I want you to try and rebuild today's flow on your own, without me. That's where it really sticks. Open the canvas and start creating. Start with a prompt, move to an image model, try to create a video, play with the editing tools, and once you finish with that, try to think how you can create an automated machine out of those inputs. In order to learn more, I suggest that you will follow us on YouTube, join our Discord community. The link to this workflow is in the description below. You can open it and you can see exactly what I created. You can even see the different variations of prompt and outputs that wasn't so great and I needed to iterate on. This is honestly just a start, but we did cover all of the most crucial tools and basic tools in Weave in order for you to start creating something for yourself. It was a pleasure creating with you today. Feel free to reach out to me or anyone else on the Weave team with any question you have, and see you next time.